Now then, it's another Honda CRV Mark II repair video, because it's part of my constant trial to reduce waste wherever I can by education and just sharing information. So this time we have the rear washer jet. Doesn't work. You can hear the motor running, no water comes out of that. So the video that I did about the front washers has been very popular. It's helped a lot of people, you know, to show them that it's that easy. Well, this one is not quite that easy, but let's delve into it because I'm halfway there and I thought I'd better just do a video on this. And now we've got an aeroplane in the background. Just typical, isn't it? Okay, so this is inside the back door, and I think you have to remove this. At least it seems sensible. Now, what I did was I got a screwdriver in that gap there, and a screwdriver there, and did some gentle poking around, and then it popped off. So one of the useful things to know in this situation is, where are the little catches? There's a little catch there that goes into that hole there, and there's one the other end, and then there are these 4 pluggy catching things there that go in those 4 holes. So you've just got to ease it gently, but I suspect the one that really holds it is that one on the end. I'll just zoom down on that. So as you can see, there's the end there, and there's the catch there. So you've got to get in there somehow and just ease those apart. Okay, I'll leave that up to your own ingenuity. Where are we? Where's the I'm losing it. Here we are. See, there, and then those 4, and there's the same catch on the other end that goes in there. Okay, so that'll do that, and now that gives us access to that hose there. So let's just see if we can look up in there. So here's the spare car, and what you do is you put the screwdriver in there like that until that clicks out. You hear that click? And then another screwdriver in the back there, and it pops on. Okay? Okay, this is up in there, and as you can see, there's a catch there, and there's an actual catch up there, and this bit of tin's in the way, which is typical. Yeah, and I do describe a way of getting around that later on in the video. But what I suggest you do to start with is ease this rubber pipe off the back of the jet there. Now be careful, because the spigot is fairly thin, so don't go raunching on it enormously. Lever it gently, get a pair of snipe nose pliers in there and ease that back, right, to remove that pipe. Yeah, and then with a fine bit of wire, go down the spigot, yeah, from this side, and blow in the jet from the other side with either an airline or one of these cans of degreaser or something like that, or even WD-40, something with a bit of pressure, just to blow the muck backwards, because as you'll see later on in the video, there's a spring in there and that collects all the muck. Anyway, hopefully you can remove this pipe and clean everything out without having to take the jet block out. That's the first thing to try, because getting this jet block out is a little bit tricky, to say the least. Yeah, so as you see towards the end of the video, I've actually got this pipe sticking out of that hole, and then just set the washers going, and of course the water blasts out of there, which will do two things. One, it will show that it's working, and two, it will just blow out any surplus muck that's about. Right, leave you with that. Right, here we are. Now, unfortunately, I broke mine, and it's quite useful in some ways, because up inside there is this spring that acts like a filter, so it's well and truly blocked. But the other interesting thing is, and I went to the spare car and took this off. Now, you've got to depress these, but they're really not designed to depress very far. Right? So that is a really bad design. I don't know if we can really zoom down on that one. So, I don't know if you can see this. Ah, there you go. Look, these are supposed to depress, but they really don't very much. In fact, they don't move at all. So, you know, they're really difficult to get out. Yeah, in fact, on this one, to get it out of the door, because I didn't want to break it, I actually did some judicial snipping of steel. I'll just show you what I did. What I actually did was take these tin snips and go up there and open that out, so I got better access. And of course, you've just seen me take the panel off that door, and you might have seen a bit of battering about there where I bent it back in. I don't think it's a problem, but it just gives you better access, because the access is leaves a lot to be desired. So now I'm going to blow through this backwards with the airline, wash it through. I had a bit of wire and poke in there and just see if we can pull out any muck. I think this one on the spare car was working, but if you could see that spring on that original, it was well and truly blocked. Yeah, it just suddenly stopped working, so it was just a build-up of muck. So let me just sort out this one, and then it's just a matter of poking the pipe through the hole, fitting this unit on there and clicking it back in place. But now we've identified the problems of removing that, you've got to be really careful, really careful. Yeah, if in doubt, open up the panel a little bit, because it's going to be covered with a piece of plastic anyway, so it doesn't really matter. In fact, you know, years ago, a lot of the very old cars, there was, I think, Austins of some form, there was a core plug in exactly the really weird place, and of course core plugs in those days tended to rot out because the antifreeze was a bit corrosive, and you either took the engine out or you cut a little piece out the floor and got to the core plug. Now, which would you do? Anyway, I'm just going to clean this out. Okay, so we're getting water out of there. That's a good test. Now I'm just going to put this back in place, and I put a little bit of Vaseline, just a little bit, on those barbs just to make sure. Okay, and then click, job done. Let's give it a road test. Okay, there you go. Job done. And I found my torch. It slid down behind the spare wheel, which is typical. Right, comments please. Hopefully this will help you to help yourselves. Do all the business with the YouTube stuff if you would be so kind, and I will catch up with you very soon. Cheers for now.